Welcome back. So today I'm featuring our brand new limited edition, so special just for you who got the tea advent calendar, our Into the Woods. Our Into the Woods is an organic smoky black tea with local Alaskan spruce tips. Now we have had people ask for years for us to make a spruce tips tea, which we did. However, our Alaskan spruce tips are designated for our most popular kombucha flavor, which is our Alaskan spruce tips kombucha. So we will not ever make this into a normal tea. And it has to do with supply and demand because we harvest our own Alaskan ingredients here at Sipping Streams Tea Company. So since we harvest them, there's a limited amount that we can do, and there's a limited amount of people who can do that for us. So this tea is technically a tisane because it has spruce tips and tea. So there's two different categories. It's not purely tea, so it cannot be technically called a tea. It would be a tisane because it has something other than tea, the Camellia sinensis plant, and the tea plant itself. So a tisane is any time where it's a blend between herbal or some other plants and tea. Or a tisane can be purely herbal, like rose hips, like rose petals, like lavender, like chamomile, like mint. All those are technically tisanes, and tisanes are not 100% tea. So this Into the Woods, you'll want to steep it in boiling hot water for about 2 to 3 minutes. You can do up to 5 minutes depending how strong you want your black tea, but the longer you leave your tea in there, the stronger and more concentrated it will get. So if you are a person who leaves your Sipping Streams tea in your tea travel mug for hours, be prepared that your tea will be 4 times the strength. 4 times. So if it is too bitter, quote unquote, for you, you definitely want to make sure to water it down. That is the easiest way to dilute the concentrate that you made. Factors that determine the tasting experience of your cup of tea or tisane will be the temperature, the amount of tea, and the time that you steep it in. Those 3 factors are very important in determining your personal experience with the tea. So that's why I say these different suggestions. Typically a black tea will be 3 to 5 minutes long. Well, you can also steep it for 2 minutes too if you only want it a certain strength, if you want it lighter tasting, less astringent. And for those of you who get one of our Sipping Streams tea travel mugs and put in an actual serving, so for example, you get a 16-ounce tea travel mug and you put in 2 servings of tea in it, because a serving of tea is 1 teaspoon per 8 ounces. So you put in 2 teaspoons in that cup of tea or that tea travel mug, and our teas are good up to 4 steepings, 4 times. So you put a double serving in that travel mug, right, to make 16 ounces. And you leave it in an hour, 2 hours, 3 hours. Be prepared for it to be 4 times the strength, because the tea will keep extracting into that wonderful tea thermos that is very good at keeping the temperature. Now this tea, even though it has a smoky black tea base, it is actually naturally sweet. The black tea itself is naturally sweet. And the spruce tips itself has this, I wouldn't call it super piney, it is Alaskan spruce tips, but it has a slight sweetness, this slight delicate kind of lemon limey flavor that kind of is, you almost don't even taste any of the citrus to it. It's so mild, but it pairs very well with this black tea. And like I said, you can re-steep this up to 4 times. It usually gets stronger the 2nd or 3rd time that you re-steep it. So I hope you enjoy, lucky you, this limited edition for our tea advent calendar, the Into the Woods, because this is a very, I guess, rare tea to make because of the labor that it takes and the one time of year that we harvest the spruce tips, which is in the spring. So enjoy your Into the Woods Alaskan Spruce Tips tea. Make sure that you re-steep your tea, or if you leave it in very long, remember to dilute it because it will be extremely strong. I don't personally think it will be bitter because the ratio is a purely black tea, but any of our other black teas or green teas for that matter, if you leave them in too long and you don't follow the guidance of the suggested temperature and time, be prepared for it to be very strong. And if you like it that strong, great. So remember, your cup of tea is your personal experience, and we're here to guide you through your personal tea journey. Thank you so much for joining us for another wonderful episode about tea at Sipping Streams.